What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to all of my subscribers again. I want to thank y'all so much. Y'all rock. The ladies, y'all have been supporting me throughout this whole journey, and definitely the guys, y'all have definitely been supporting me. You've been subscribing, y'all been liking and sharing the videos. So again, I want to thank all of my A1s from day ones who've been loyal to my content, who have been still attending my chats, who have been super chatting. Again, y'all rock. I want to thank y'all so much. For those of y'all who recently subscribed, I welcome you to the family. I thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And those of you, if this is your first time ever hearing any of my content for the first time ever, and you like what you hear, please join Mocha's Cafe de Paris family by liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. Again, I cannot have my channel grow without you guys supporting it and putting the channel out there. So again, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. So moving right on in today's recipe, on today's menu. Now, I already did an upload the other day about the high value man, for those of you who didn't catch it. I did a upload, yeah, it was on the, no, it wasn't, yeah, it was yesterday. Why high value men have the highest divorce rates. Your boy Babyface recently just got divorced. I believe what, 7-year marriage, 8-year marriage, hell, I can't remember. But he's just an example. It's been several men that are of high status as far as income. Has nothing to do with character or morals. Again, when we speak in terms of the high value man, it's more so pertaining to income. High value does not mean you're more superior. High value does not mean you're better than anyone, but basically based on the definition in the black YouTube sector, high value is more so men who earn high income. Doesn't mean they have high morals, doesn't mean that they really have high values as far as in their beliefs and their principles and their self-respect. High value is just basically based on income. Okay, has nothing to do with his morals or his character. Okay, but everybody has their own definition of what is considered as a high value man. So since that is the lane that they're going, high value is based on income, we're going to stay in that lane. And basically there's a lot of men that are high value, high earned income men that are not really successful at marriage. They're successful in business. They're successful in achieving goals and achieving accomplishments. They're very successful as far as being ambitious. But when it comes to relationships and women and marriage, that is one area in which a lot of them struggle. Just like a lot of women who are successful, women who are very beautiful, like Halle Berry, Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey. And I already told y'all I'm going to do content pertaining to successful women who also have high divorce rates, who also have a hard time connecting with high value men. So they have to settle for pookies, or they have to settle for men who are not as successful as they are. And believe me, I'm going to work on that content because my channel is very balanced. I go in on men and I go in on women. But all my loyal subscribers, they know that. But for you newcomers who are just coming here, for you get in the chat room and throw your shade or whatever, realize I'm a very balanced content creator. I go in on both in my channel. So basically, I really wanted to get into talking about this, y'all. I wanted to talk about why the high value man keeps getting traded in for the below average boo. And there's many reasons to that, and I'm going to break down all of the elements. I'm going to break down all of the ingredients to this recipe. So we're going to get prepared and just have your ears open, be ready to receive this knowledge, be ready to be open to hearing this content without being biased, without already being ready to be on attack mode. Just make sure you have taken all of it in, hear the whole content out. Then you can draw your own conclusion or make your own assessment after you have thoroughly heard everything. So Anywho, I wanted to talk about this because I have noticed several male content creators, which I will not say any names because I don't believe in being a clout roach. I'm not a clout roach. A lot of people been using my word clout roach and they ain't been giving me no props for it because nobody came up with that with me. But anyway, that's another story. We have a lot of clout roaches, people that want to crawl and jump on the bandwagon on anything that's hot for the moment or anything that's popular for the moment. So I don't believe in being a clout roach, so I'm not going to say the content creator's name because it's going to look like I'm trying to ride off his wave. I'm trying to earn out notoriety through his name, so I'm not going to say his name, but there's been a particular popular content creator. Most of y'all may know him because I'm sure the majority of y'all are subscribed to them because most people are subscribed to whatever is popular, not solid. So it is what it is. But nevertheless, he did content pertaining to R&B singer Khalees. And he has not been the only one. I would say it's been several men since the divorce of Nas and Khalees. It's been a lot of men who have had a lot of opinion about the R&B singer Khalees. And a lot of these men, content creators in the black YouTube sector, have been pretty much dragging her. You know, basically, they can't understand how a woman of her status could divorce a man, this high value man, Nas. They can't understand it. They can't fathom how a woman below his status would have the audacity to divorce Nas, the high value man, and not only divorce him, but to remarry a whole nother man. That's a real estate agent. He goes by the name of Mike Mora. Y'all hear a lot of thunder, y'all. I can't do nothing about that. This is Mother Nature. I got no control over it. So if you hear the thunderstorms in the background, it's not sound effects or anything. Just letting y'all know. A lot of people couldn't understand how Khalees could leave this multi-millionaire entrepreneur, producer, songwriter, rapper, actor by the name of Nas. A lot of dudes couldn't fathom that. Especially because Nas is a man of significant success. Now, before I go in and say anything negative about Nas, known as Nasir bin Ullah Dara Jones, I will definitely say this. I think Nas is one of the most handsome, humble black men I have ever seen. He's gorgeous. He's talented. He's very humble. He's very respectful. I've never heard him say anything bad about black women in his music. He's one of the rappers I can say who's always been very political. Has been very prophetic. He's never been one of those type of rappers that label women as bitches and hoes, and he's just never, that's never been his style. Nas has always been very different. He's always had his own lane. He's a very talented brother, skilled brother, handsome black man. He doesn't have a reputation. He doesn't have a bad reputation. I've never really heard nothing bad about him. I haven't heard about him being arrested for any criminal offenses. I've never seen mug shots of him being locked up because he got pulled over for DUI. I've never heard nothing bad about Nas. Nas has always been a clean-cut type of black man, and that's rare because any man that's been in the industry of hip-hop for a long, extensive amount of time, they rarely can be in a career with such longevity and not have all type of, negative things come against him. And I can say Nas, I can say LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane. A lot of the old school rappers, a lot of them don't have the reputation that these young rappers and singers and artists have today. We got these artists like Chris Brown and Meek Mill always getting in some shit. Name always in the media for some bull. But I will give Nas that. Nas is a very respectable guy. He handles his business. You don't hear about him all over the news. And he's not a black woman basher. I've never, even when things did not work out with him and Khalees, he didn't go on this hating black woman campaign he didn't allow that divorce to make him bitter and hate black women and resent black women. So I will give him that. It shows you his dignity. It shows you that he's a strong man, and he's not going to allow one negative bad experience with a one black woman generalize his whole outlook on how black women are to be perceived. But it's a lot of brothers who's looking into his situation and got so much to say about black women and how black women think, how black women move. And Nas is the one who actually went through it, and he ain't even the one that's going in on Khalees or other black women. You know what I'm saying? And this is actually his situation. So I have to give Nas props on that, for being a gentleman, being a man, not trashing his wife, his ex-wife, even though she's had a whole lot to say about him. I would give him that. Nas is very, very masculine, alpha male at its finest, because he don't move like I see a lot of these brothers move today. He's not on this bitter pill method where he wants to drag all women because his black wife done dragged him. So big ups to Nas with his handsome, humble self, for still being a man despite the odds he have had to encounter with his divorce. So anyhow, like I said, a lot of these content creators have had an opinion about Khalees, and basically looking at her as the villain. Now, I will say this also. We really don't know what transpired between Nas and Khalees, because let's face it, those of us who have experienced divorce, I haven't yet, but those of us who have experienced it, those of us who have experienced breakups, let's be honest, when things get ugly in a relationship or a marriage, there's not too many people going to take accountability. It's not too many people going to say, you know what, I dropped the ball, I fouled up, I messed it up, I got caught cheating, or I was doing things inappropriate in my marriage that caused me to lose my marriage. There's not too many people that's going to own up. I wish people would get out the gender war thing and stop automatically assuming it's the black man's fault or it's the black woman's fault. 9 times out of 10, when a marriage has failed or has not been successful, it has been both parties. Both parties have done something or did not do enough to preserve the marriage or to keep the marriage going. So I would say, I don't think Nas was 100% wrong. And at the same time, I don't think Khalees was 100% wrong. But I will say this. I don't think Khalees was 100% innocent. And I don't think Nas was 100% innocent. When a marriage does not work, majority of the time, it is both parties who did not do all of what they could have done to make that marriage work. So for all of y'all male content creators or female content creators who got an opinion and want to say that Khalees wasn't good enough for Nas or Nas wasn't good enough for Khalees, y'all don't even need to be opinionating. Now, if you want to give your own perspective or your own intake as far as what you assumed happened, but to sit up here and just drag Khalees, and it's all her fault that she couldn't handle a high value man, or to sit up here and drag Nas and look at it like all black men ain't no good. A lot of y'all with this gender war, this gender war bias thinking has a lot of y'all picking and choosing sides, and it's very childish, because like my father used to tell me, you have her side, his side, and the truth. None of us would never know the truth because we did not live with Nas or Khalees. We weren't in their household. We weren't in their marriage. So the gender war, y'all need to stop assuming every time a successful black man loses a marriage that the black woman wasn't worthy enough of him, or he's a black man, so he automatically wasn't good enough for her. I'm just so tired of y'all with this gender war thing. Bottom line is, when relationships don't work out, God damn it, they just don't work out. We're not going to sit up here and get on this black bashing. It's the black women who don't know how to appreciate a black man, or it's the black men who don't know how to appreciate a black woman being a queen. I'm just so freaking over y'all with that mess. But anyhow, so you have all of these people that have so much to say, these content creators that are dragging Khalees through the mud. And I believe both of them did not do all of what they could do to preserve that marriage. So it boils back down to what's at hand, the issue at hand. Why the high value man gets traded in for a below average boo. Now, everybody's making a mockery out of Khalees with her new husband, Mr. Mora, because he's a real estate agent. And we know he's making decent bread, but it's not the bread compared to what Nas was making. Let's face it, Nas has been in the game forever and a day. And Nas has ventured into so many different things. He has been an actor on the movie Belly. The man has given yeah, has made, I believe he's made his label. He's fixed it to where in the event if he were to pass away, his one and only daughter, being that she's the oldest, I guess, would get the majority of his estate. And I think that's awesome. And he has a son, so I'm sure he's going to do right by his son as well. Being that he's always done right by his daughter. So the man has, like I said, he's definitely paved his way. He's earned all of his stripes. Got to give respect to where respect is due. So a lot of people have been clowning on Khalees because of the fact that she's with this real estate agent who they feel like is a big downgrade compared to Nas the rapper. Now, if you're talking about income, yes, Nas does have way more substantial amount of income than Mike Morrow. This we know. And this is not to say that Nas is better as far as character or better as far as masculinity or whatever the case is. But it does state that these are two different breed of men that Khalees has built a family or built a connection with. Now, there's this myth that anytime a woman leaves a high value man, that basically she wasn't worthy of him to begin with. She wasn't deserving of him to begin with. Now, when Khalees divorced Nas and the judge granted her a high percentage of child support, a lot of people was really, mostly these male content creators, a lot of people was dragging her through the mud. A lot of men was dragging her through the mud. When she got with Mike Morrow, this real estate agent, not only did they clown on the fact that she had got married to this real estate agent who makes less income than Nas, they also ragged on her weight because she had a second child. So you had a lot of these content creators that were going in on her weight. Not just content creators. I've seen a lot of men, even subscribers, because let's face it, a lot of men are getting just as petty as women now. They got an opinionate on everything. When back in the day, most men that were masculine, they didn't opinionate on everything. They felt like, hell, if that's how y'all feel, that's how y'all feel, and keep it moving. But now, we're in a different era in which men are becoming just as petty as women, and they feel like they got to have a say-so on everything. Even another man's business. Now, women, we've always been on opinionate on everything, but men never really involved themselves in men's business. They felt like, okay, if that man divorced his wife and it didn't work out, oh well. If that man remarried, oh well. Now you got men who want to attack wives and stuff, or ex-wives when she's left for high value man, and that's something men have never done back in my day. They stayed out of men's business, but these days again, men, they own something else now. They getting all involved in other men's business with their ex-wives and divorces and stuff like that. So you have all of these people that was dragging Khalees about her weight because she had a child, and of course she's older now. She's not that young, skinny Khalees she was when she was first married to Nas. So now that she has gained this weight after being remarried and having another baby, you have all these, high value, I got to come up with a word, these high value clout chasers now who got so much to say and feel like they have to opinionate on the fact that Khalees downgraded because she got with this real estate agent. And it's gotten to the point now, anytime there's a successful man, whether he's a rapper or athlete a lawyer, a producer, or an attorney, women are automatically given a side eye. Like, who are you to be divorcing a high value man? Like when Dr. Dre's ex-wife, I guess, I don't know if that divorce is still pending or what. I know they was bickering, but I think they came up with a settlement though. I think she ended up getting a good bit. I'm not sure. But a lot of people looked at Dr. Dre's ex-wife as the villain. Like, here it is, Dr. Dre is this multi-million mogul. And who is his ex-wife to be trying to penalize him and take him to the cleaners and take him for everything he has? Who is she? She's a nobody. A lot of people looked at Nicole Young with the side eye. Like, who is she? They automatically looked at her as the gold digger. They automatically looked at her as the villain. They didn't feel like Nicole Young deserved any of Dr. Dre's hard-earned money that he had been making for years, way before she even came along. And true indeed. But even though Nicole Young had been married twice, she was married to an NBA player, Sadell Theriot. Then she had tied the knot when she left him for rapper Dr. Dre. Sadell played for the Seattle Supersonics, Philadelphia 76ers, and Los Angeles. See, I didn't even know she was married to an athlete till I was talking to y'all. So, of course, she loves men with money. Didn't bother Dr. Dre any. He married her anyway. Now, although a lot of these content creators, a lot of these men want to go in on women like Khalees, want to go in on these high value men, divorcees, their ex-wives, the whole part y'all are overlooking is these men married these women. They wanted these women. As much as a lot of these dudes want to clown Khalees, talk about her weight, I've even heard a content creator go so far as to, because Khalees has always been a very petite woman, and I remember they posted a picture of her rear end, and being that she doesn't have a big butt, her butt is she's I would say she has a small rear end. She had one at the time when she was with Nas. She's put on a lot of weight since then. People were clowning on the fact that she ain't really had a lot of ass like that. Like, who are you to want to divorce Nas? You ain't had nothing. You ain't had no ass. You wasn't all that pretty. You know, a lot of people was going in, but a lot of these men ain't understanding. Y'all disrespected Nas in a sense because that was the woman he chose. That's like you're knocking him for what he chose as a good woman. You're insulting him, whether y'all want to believe that or not. Same thing, y'all going in on Dr. Dre's ex-wife, but that's who he chose. Out of all the women he could have got married to, he wanted Nicole Young. A lot of these high-value men supporters are these high-value clout roaches who want to attack all these ex-wives who are ex-fiancés or baby mamas of these high-value men who y'all so dearly value highly, who y'all worship and praise. Y'all want to go in on the women they chose. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about Khalees, but Nas was in love with this woman. In fact, Nas was so in love with Khalees, he wrote a song. I actually love this. I love the track, y'all. If you look it up on YouTube or whatever, the name of the song by Nas is called Bye Baby. Bye Baby. B-Y-E Baby. Like bye. Like send somebody bye baby. And if you listen to the lyrics, I tell you, Nas to be this masculine thug, this high value man. Well, you know, Nas ain't never been like a thug type of dude, but to be this masculine, high value type of man, if you listen to the lyrics, you can tell he was crushed. He was crushed that Khalees didn't want that marriage no more. He was crushed. And guess what? That doesn't make him less of a man because he was verbally expressing his hurt or his pain. He's a human being. And I can admire men who can express their hurt or disappointment, especially when it comes to a woman, because we're in a society where men that are transparent about being hurt or disappointed, they're looked at as better males. So I don't look at a man as a better male because he's expresses himself or he's very emotional. That makes him a human being. And I actually like to see the softer side of a man because it lets me know that he has enough masculinity where he's not afraid to be emotional, because he's not worried about how other men are going to look down on him, how other men are going to talk about him, how other men are going to bash him. A man that's willing to be emotional, it displays that he has a lot of confidence because he's man enough to understand I can be a man and still be emotional at the same goddamn time. It does not mean that I'm a better male. So if you listen to his lyrics, Bye Baby, I'm gonna just read a couple of lines, y'all. I'm not gonna rehearse the whole goddamn song, but this is just to go show you how hurt Nas was because he was in love with this woman. So I'm gonna read the second lyrics, y'all. I'm gonna read the second verse. And the second verse goes, Bye baby, I guess you know why I had to leave. 7 months of your pregnancy about to have my seed. Let's take it back some years, rewind it to the happy years. You and your Star Trek fam. I'm thinking you cats are weird. Same time, different year, I was digging your flow. Then I tatted you on my arm so niggas would know. I thought no one could stop us. Matching gold watches. I was your Johnny Depp. You was my Janis Joplin. Yet the cuter version. Yet I knew you personally. Better than you knew yourself. And I knew this for certain. Cribbing and Dominican. You got away from everybody. You screaming at the racist cops in Miami was probably the highlight of my life. Like, hi, yo, look at my wife. Gangster. Me and the 20 cops about to fight. Crazy night, bailed you out. Next morning we got clean, like it never happened, and we later went at that Heat game. Just another day in the life of two people in love, but it wasn't enough. So baby, guess what? I guess you knew, and I blew a good thing, baby. Bye, baby. I can't believe that this is happening to us. Bye, baby. Because I'm saying bye, baby. Because I'm saying bye-bye. I guess you knew and blew a good thing, baby. Listen, could you imagine right in your disposition, divorce lawyer telling you how this thing going to be ending, with you paying out the ass, and I'm talking half, not some, but half, no serious half of your soul, half of your heart you leaving behind. It's either that or die. I wanted peace of mind. And all I see was selfish cowards under the breath saying, why did Nas trust her? But look at yourself. Speak louder, bro. You live with your baby moms and scared to make an honest woman out of her and make her your bride. Fake pimps, you ain't even alive. At least I can say I tried, plus enjoyed the ride. Plus we got a little boy, my little joy and pride. He got my nose, my grill, your color, your eyes. Next go round, I hope I pick the truest type and watch me do it all over again. It's a beautiful life, beautiful life. So, as you can see in his lyrics, again, all you men are having your opinion on what kind of woman Khalees was, but from what Nas is saying, he's technically, if y'all are dissecting the lyrics, he's technically saying the shit was his fault. Listen, if y'all think I'm making this up, listen. This is what he said. Because I'm reading this as I'm talking to y'all. He said, let me go back to what he was saying, because I heard him take accountability. Let me see, you screaming. Now, like I was stating, she wasn't the worst type of woman that a lot of y'all are making out to be. He stated how one night when they was pulled over by racist cops in Miami, how she basically jumped out of his defense and got in the police face, you know what I mean, about to fight, crazy night. So she wasn't the type of woman that didn't have Nas back. He even expressed this in his song. Like he didn't realize his wife was that gangster. Like that was the highlight of my life. Yo, look at my wife, gangster. Me and 20 cops about to fight. So she was ride or die for him. You know, it got ugly, but y'all have to look at the whole picture. Y'all just looking at the aftermath and y'all running with it. I guess you knew and blew. I guess you knew and blew a good thing. I can't believe this is happening to us. Well, I can't. Well, I have to take that statement back because what I thought it said, I guess you knew and I blew a good thing. It says, I guess you knew and blew a good thing. So basically, he's basically insinuating, that we had something good. We had something that could have possibly kept growing. But I guess you decided to let go of all of that. But he was basically very emotional. And he basically said, when you paying out your ass, you paying half. That he ain't just talking about money, half of his soul, half of his heart, everything. Money, that was the tip of the iceberg, but he lost something more valuable than that because money could be replaced. But your soul, your heart, that's hard. um he went through a lot with this divorce, and then he went through people ragging on him. Why did Nas trust her? And like he was saying, y'all look at yourself. I tried to do the right thing. I tried to make this woman my wife. I tried to give her a good life, so I did everything I could. So y'all want to talk down on me saying I'm a sucker, but at least I tried to be a man about it, and I got to give him props on that. uh so we're not gonna go too much into the lyrics, but my whole point is, uh, he really had a love for this woman. Y'all can rag and drag and talk about her weight, talk about how she wasn't this and she wasn't that. Nas was in love with that woman, just like Dr. Dre was in love with Nicole, just like Scottie Pippen was in love with Larsa. All these women y'all want to drag, these men, they could have picked several millions of other women. These are the women they was in love with. So she couldn't have been the worst woman if this is who he chose. Because Nas is not a stupid man. He's not a slow man. So if he chose this woman, he knew what he was choosing. Like he said, why did we mess it up? We was friends. We had it all. Reason you don't trust men, that was your daddy's fault. Basically, he met a woman who he fell in love with, a woman who already had trust issues about men because she saw her own father cheating on her mother all the time. Said, you caught him cheating with mom, fucking other women. Fuck that got to do with us. Here's the keys to the newest truck. In other words, hell, why you hold on to all this anger and animosity towards what your father did? Hell, that ain't got nothing to do with us. We living a good life. We got money. We chilling. We traveling. We got to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Birkin bags, we're burning cash, and our baby do it up. No matter who you fuck, that was before me. Other words, he ain't cared about the past. He ain't cared about how many other dudes she been with. We doing a darn thing now. We shopping, we splurging, we living a good life. Um, and that's what it boils down to. But we'll leave that from there. But that's a really good song, y'all. Please check it out. Like I said, Nas has always been real deep with his lyrics. You know what I mean? He when his lyrics, when he raps, he speaks from the heart. From the heart, you can pretty much really feel his music. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the issue at hand. So back to why the high value man gets traded in for below average boo. So again, I've been hearing all of these assessments from other men that constantly want to drag women that have left their expensive upscale life. They're high value men, meaning high earned income men, these athletes, these rappers. We hear it all the time, and I'm noticing it's more women that are leaving than there are men. Now, I have heard a couple of guys say this, that men are the most dedicated, they're the most loyal. The athletes, the rappers, the high value men, it's always the women that are leaving and filing for the divorce, and they're the ones that seem to benefit because those are the ones who get alimony, they get child support, they get spousal support. So basically they try to give this incentive. They want to push this narrative that high value men are more loyal, but they're not looking at the deeper picture. The reason why a lot of these high value men never leave their wives, the majority of times the wives that are leaving them, because they feel like because they are high value, they can still do what they want. And as long as they take care of their wife and provide her with the high value life, she should be loyal no matter what he does. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying this is the case for all high value men. You do have some women who will use men, marry them for their money, marry them for their wealth and their success, and as soon as they have obtained a certain amount of of years to where they can qualify to get spousal, to get certain amount of income. You do have women that are very shady. You do have women that are low down who only want men who are successful. So after she's been with him 7 to 10 years, she can profit and get half of his income, and she wasn't even there from the beginning of his career before he even became big and successful. So I would say you do have some shady ass women out here who just want to secure the bag. That's not always the case. You have had some cases in which women were ride or die. They was with the man at the peak of his success when he was a nobody, when nobody knew of him, like Wendy Williams. Nobody knew who Kevin Hunter was. Nobody even knew he existed until Wendy Williams put him on. Now, you do have some men that will do some low down stuff like that. They will, but that's another situation though, because she was more successful. But that's probably wasn't the best example to use. But what I'm saying is that you have a lot of women who leave high value husbands because, yeah, he may have made a lot of money. Yes, he's very successful. And you have a lot of men that look at it like, who is this plain Jane? Who is this below average female who didn't have the success he had, who didn't have the career he had, who didn't make the money he had? Who is she to be leaving him? Not only leaving him, trading him in for below average boo. Who is she? And it's looking automatically like it's the women that are the villain. But again, you have these high value men. They do give their wives the best of everything. Sometimes it's not enough. There's no point in a man giving you a beautiful home, an expensive cars, expensive house, but he's hoeing around on you, disrespecting you, being physically abusive, verbally abusive. Let's face it, not all high value men are gentlemen. And I wish a lot of you male content creators would start pushing that narratives. Just like all beautiful women or pretty women are not kind. All beautiful women or attractive women are not ladylike. Y'all want to think only it's the unattractive women that are not classy, that are unladylike, that are whores. You have attractive women that are whores, that are gold diggers, and y'all, those are the ones who y'all give a pass, but y'all don't ever want to talk about them. Now let an ugly, unattractive female leave her successful men. Oh, y'all all over it. Dwayne's Wade wife, when he divorced her, however, y'all made a mockery out of that woman because she wasn't attractive, she wasn't this exotica or whatever, so y'all gave her a pass. Only basic women or average women or below the average women that are not light-skinned, mixed, exotica, y'all let them jokers get away with all kind of, y'all don't get them a pass, but y'all let the exoticas get away with all kind of mess. Dr. Dre's wife is not black, but look, she still spit on him and took him for everything he had, just like any average black woman y'all feel like would do. So it's kind of like, as long as a woman stands by a high value man's bullshit, she's a good woman. Now, for instance, Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa Bryant, she could have left Kobe when that big scandal came out about him cheating and messing around with that waitress. She could have left him and took him for everything. Now y'all know what y'all would have said. Oh, she was just trying to secure the bag anyway. She was waiting for him to mess up. She was waiting for him to not do right, and now she got him by the balls. But because she stayed, and I would give Kobe this, he never got caught in no more bullshit after that. He learned his lesson. He became a husband. He stepped his game up, and he did right. You ain't heard nothing else about him. Ain't no other women was able to come forth and said, oh, I've been with Kobe, all this, and that. But a lot of men respect Vanessa way more than any woman when she took way more shit than a lot of women wouldn't take. But because Kobe, and that's no disrespect to him, but because he's a high value man, high value status, women who stand by high value men bullshit, they get the most respect. A woman leaves and decides she can't take it no more and she's done, she's the villain. Know what people would have said if Vanessa would have left? Oh, she came from nothing. She ain't had nothing anyway. Kobe could have did better, blah, 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 blah. She stood by him. You know, not only the crazy part is, you know, a lot of men praised Vanessa and respect her for standing by all of Kobe's mishaps, but other black women who have stood by men, you know, through their mishaps, they don't get that. They don't get the credit. They don't get the acknowledgement. We're told we're desperate. We're told, you know, we can't do no better because we're willing to weather the storm. You know what I mean? And not only that, not only do black men go on attacking black women who stand by men who have made bad choices, you got other black women who also attack black women who have stood by men who made bad choices. They will call you a mammy. They will say you desperate. They will say you weak because you're willing to try to work on the issues in your marriage. You're willing to try to grow from it. You know, it's always the outsiders that got so much to say. And it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you stay, you're a good person. If you don't stay, you're a good person. I mean, you can't win for losing. So the question goes back to, why does the high value man get traded in for below average boo? And we're going to break down the ingredients. The first thing is, high value men is very controlling. Now, I don't know if this is the truth. We're just hypothetically saying, because again, when divorces or breakups happen, people get messy. People only want to tell the side of the story that makes people sympathize with them. So the first thing is, I remember one of the things Khalees said was that Nas was very controlling. You know, she wasn't even allowed to hold conversations or speak to other men, other male celebrities, when her and Nas would go to red carpet events or award shows and stuff like that. That one time they got into a big argument because she spoke to Jay-Z. Jay-Z spoke to her and she was being courteous and spoke back. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know if she was overly flirting with Jay-Z and it made Nas feel some type of way. I don't know. Because sometimes women, we can get out of pocket with certain things too, you know, and act like we don't know why. I don't know why he even got mad. I don't even know why. When you know you was doing too much. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's why I say I'm not picking sides. But in the event, most high value men are very controlling. Men who are successful and are high value, they are very strict. They are very stern. And for good reason. When you're a high value man, you want your wife, you want your significant other to conduct herself in a certain way. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to like a better male because your wife, your woman doesn't know how to conduct herself when she's in the presence of other men. When y'all are in the presence of people that have high echelon, you want your woman to conduct herself a certain way. And a lot of high value men are like that. And if you're not a woman who can live up to that standard, to you is going to come off as controlling, when basically he's just trying to mold you. He wants his woman to carry herself a certain way. Now you have some women who don't have a problem with that. You have some women, they don't mind a man telling them, this is how I want you to dress, this is how I want you to talk, this is how I want you to sit to the table and eat, this is how I want you to speak. You have some women, they don't mind being controlled like robots because they are so infatuated with the high value lifestyle, the cars, the money. They are willing to be puppets. They are willing to be slaves, or submissive, you know, depending on how she perceives it. She's willing to deal with whatever she has to take off the high value man to enjoy the fruits of his labor. And you have a lot of these women that will start off doing that, and once they reach a certain amount of years and they know they can leave them and check out and still benefit, they'll never leave them. I personally think that's what Dr. Dre's wife did. I think she stayed humble and submissive the whole time till she could hang him by the balls, and then she was able to pull a rug from up under his foot. So all of you men, some of y'all who think y'all got this docile, submissive woman, and y'all want to drag and put down other women who you feel aren't submissive like your wife, your same wife who's sitting there acting humble and kind as a lamb, will be the same one to burn you after she done put them 10 years in. Ask Michael Strahan. He had his docile white wife who kissed his behind all of those years. Did everything he said did. Didn't buck the system. Was highly submissive. And when he least expected it, she took him for everything. She took him to the cleaners. His basic Becky took him to the cleaners. That's why I said y'all need to stop with this black bashing and gender warring. Because you got some shady ass white, Mexican, Hispanic women who will take you to the cleaners just like a black woman. I didn't even know his ex-wife got arrested for allegedly harassing her former girlfriend. Oh, so she went the other way, I guess. After him and Mr. Michael Strahan didn't work out. But I remember she got a good bit out of that settlement. She was the second wife. They divorced in 2006. Interesting. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, he thought he had it made. A lot of these high value men think they have it made because their wives are submissive and quiet, but that don't mean she ain't gonna burn your ass. And then next, when she hit that 10-year mark, she gonna go up the floor, wash your toes, pick your boogers out your nose, do all kind of stuff to make you think you got it like that. And when you least expect, she pull a rug up under your foot like Dr. Dre's wife. He ain't saw it coming. Also, singer Luke, producer, uh, he was the one who created the group Two Live Crew. Luther Campbell, yeah, known as Luke. For those of you who are from the South, or y'all know about that Miami bass sound, Luke was a rapper, promoter, record executive, actor. He was the leader of the rap group Two Live Crew. He had his own reality show, Luke's Parental Advisory, which I thought was awesome. And we all know what Luke does. We know he's about that booty shaking music. He has produced porn. He's done a lot. He has 6 children from 5 previous relationships. He's definitely been around. But his last wife, she had she divorced him. He had married his last wife named Kristen Thompson, who was a lawyer. They married back in 2008. And she's the mother of his 7th child, his last child. She divorced him just recently. And of course, all these male consecrators came out talking about how she was using him and took him for what he had. Nevertheless, as I was implying, is that everything is not what it's cracked up to be being with a high value man. A lot of women complain that high value men are very controlling, meaning that, yeah, they give you the house, yeah, you have the cars, yes, you have the lifestyle, but there's a lot of restrictions that come with that. You can't assume because a woman's with a high value man that she's living her best life. He may have restrictions as to how much she can spend, and maybe for good reason. He doesn't want his woman, running through their savings every month. I mean, high value men believe in structure. They don't believe in you spending ridiculously, you just buying stuff to be buying stuff, which is the reason why they have become high value, is because they're very mindful of their finances. They're very mindful of where money is going and stuff like that. But for a woman who's not used to being structured, it could come off to her as he's being controlling. You have high value men. Yeah, you may have a Bentley in your yard, you may have a Porsche in your yard, but that don't mean you can go where you want to go and you can do what you want to do. You have a lot of high value men that are very strict, that are very stern. They don't care for their women coming and going as much as they want. Nah, she may have all of these cars in the yard. That don't mean she could use them when she wants to. That don't mean she could drive them wherever she want to drive them at. Y'all on the outside looking in. So I know that's one of the biggest things, is that high value men are very controlling. Yeah, he may give you a black card, but you may could only spend $500 on it a day. Or every time you want to swipe that card, you got to call him like a child and ask him, Can I buy this? Can I buy that? Every woman that's with a high value man don't mean she's living her best life. The next thing is there's pressure being with a high value man. Again, high value men are very strict and stern. They want their woman to present themselves a certain way, to carry themselves a certain way, to act a certain way, to dress a certain way. It may be a lot of pressure being with a high value man. You got to weigh a certain amount. They don't want their woman too big. Um, they don't want their woman too talkative. Y'all some high value men, very, very strict and stern. There's a lot of pressure. Not only that, if you're dealing with rappers, athletes, celebrity like men, um, there's a lot of temptation for them. They have all kind of women checking for them. They got all these groupies who desire to be with them. And because the high value man knows he has all these options, he's going to expect his wife or significant other to exceed those options. The high value men is constantly surrounded by all types of women. They're surrounded around models. They're surrounded around other female celebrities. Unless he um, does not allow Hollywood to take him out of his element, he could become very unrealistic and expect unrealistic expectations. He knew when he met you, you was always a heavy body type woman. Now all of a sudden, because he's been exposed to all types of women, now he wants you to hit the gym. Now he wants you to, dress a certain way, act a certain way. Some people get hit by that Hollywood bug, and all of a sudden they get Hollywood on you. There's a lot of pressure being with a high value man. Now he sees everything wrong with you because he has all kind of women checking for him. He sees something wrong with your weight. You too big for him. You too dark for him. You're not attractive enough for him. He finds all of your faults and flaws once he becomes too Hollywood. Um, and that's another disadvantage. That's another reason why some of these women are trading in these high value men for a below average boo, because a below average boo, he is still in reality, because he himself is not so high value to where he has become so blinded and jaded by Hollywood, um to where he's expecting these unrealistic expectations. And this is the reason why you have a lot of these women who leave the high value man to be with a below average boo. Now, that brings me back to my point number one, when I said how the high value man is very controlling, because I feel like I need to address what makes the below average boo different from that. The below average boo is not as controlling because he doesn't have a whole lot to be controlling with. When you're dealing with an average guy that makes decent income, or a man who's not an entrepreneur in that sense, like I said, with Kanice's current husband being in real estate, I'm sure he has expectations to a certain degree like any other man, but it may not be as outlandish or over the top compared to being with a man that's a rapper. You know, Men that are very high value, um, as I stated before, they tend to get so Hollywood. Now, anything that's average, they got something to find. They got something to say about it. They got to find something wrong about it. That's for the average dude. He's an average guy. So if his wife picks up a little weight, he's not looking at her sideways because of it. Um, he doesn't have as much temptation to face compared to the high value man. Um, I'm sure the real estate man that Khaleesi's with, she doesn't have to deal with the fact that he got all these groupies that surrounding him, all these groupies trying to push up on him. Not to say that this means Nas was responding to the groupies and he was, I've never heard her say he cheated on her or she saw anything. I don't know as far as that goes, but the below average dude, he doesn't have all of these groupies coming at him because he doesn't have a whole lot. But men that are high value, um, they are groupie magnets. These rappers, these athletes, um, these CEOs, these business owners, they're gonna always attract groupies, and that's hard for a woman unless you're very confident, or unless you can deal with, okay, I don't give a damn what he does. I don't care how many chicks he's smashing. As long as he's taking care of me, I'm the one with the big house. I'm the one with the big cars. I don't care. Y'all have some women who they don't care. Y'all have some women that's home living a best high value wife life. Got the cars, got the home houses, got the bank account. You know, she chilling. She don't care if her high value man is smashing. Young thoughts, groupies. She don't care because in her mind, she knows she being well taken care of. You have some women, they can't deal with it. You got some women ain't going to deal with it. Care how much money you make. I don't care if you have me in a 500,000 house. I'm not about to deal with you smashing these $10 holes, these $30 holes. Even though you got me in this 300,000 home, I'm not about to deal with it. So, not saying this is the case with every high value man, but the majority of them, they're going to always have options. More options you have, you're going to always find something wrong with what you got. And that's just the point of the matter. The next thing is the reason why a lot of women are trading in their high value men is because she's able to establish a new life off of the high value man income. Other words, when Khalees divorced Nas, she don't have to struggle. She have the best of both worlds now. She divorced her high value man who was probably having all these high expectations, very controlling, very strict, very stern. She gets to be with her basic Brad, her below the average, below the barrel dude, below average dude, and get him to be more humble and at the same time still benefit off the high value man income. Nas had to give Khalees a lot of money, just like Dr. Dre had to give his exotica wife a lot of money. That's the best of both worlds for a woman. You divorce your high value man, but you still get to keep his high value money. And guess who gets to enjoy that? The basic Brad, the pet Pookie. And it's so easy for the pet Pookie. He don't have to produce a lot of receipts and stuff because she's already being taken care of off of the high value money. So if she's already in $300,000 home that the judge granted her through a settlement, she already has the cars, she already is well established. The pet Pookie or the basic Brad, he does not have to come to the table with a lot. Now, this is not to say that Khalees' husband didn't have to come to the table with a lot, but he doesn't have to. His shoes doesn't have to, his shoes. Really didn't have to fill big shoes because Khalees is already well established off of Nas's money. Khalees is well established off Nas's money. So therefore, Mr. Mora, even though he's a real estate agent and he's coming in with some good money, he don't really have to prove himself as much because Nas already laid the foundation for Khalees, if that makes sense. Now, keep in mind, Khalees has some bread too now because she was also in the music industry, but we know it didn't measure up to half as much as Nas had. So, won't be surprised if Dr. Dre's wife go pick up a basic Brad because she got Dr. Dre's money, and guess what? The basic Brad is going to reap the benefits of that too. It makes it easy for the basic Brad or the pet Pookie to infiltrate. He ain't got to really prove himself. If Vanessa Bryant decides to go out there and start dating and already trying to make accusations of that, next man, he ain't gonna have to do a whole lot. When you're a woman that's already struggling, you're looking for a man to come to the table with a lot. But if you're a woman that's already well established, the next man ain't got to prove that much. Now, I will say that is where men and women differ. I would say what makes men different from us, when they go through an ugly divorce, they very rarely downgrade. They're not going to get a woman less unattractive than the one they had, more broke or struggling more than the woman they had. They usually upgrade. Men usually do the opposite. If they dealt with a broke broad that took them for everything, they're not going to pick up another broke broad. I would say that's what men are a little different. Men are different from us than that. Men, most of the time, they usually upgrade. I don't know too many men who have remarried women who was everything like the last woman they married or less. Now, I do notice with women, Women will downgrade. They'll probably get another guy that's not as attractive or don't have as much money, but the reasons are different. Most women with them, they've experienced men with a lot of money, and they see that it's not all of what it's cracked up to be. It doesn't mean that that's the best she could do, but in many instances, she sees shit. I'm not going back to that. I've dealt with men who got money. Donald Trump's ex-wife, Vanna Trump, whatever the hell her name is, she ain't picked up another millionaire after Trump. All of when she went through with Trump, she said, "Oh no, I'm not going back to that." Now, in most cases, when men go through an ugly divorce, they make sure they make sure they step themselves up. I mean, Steve Harvey, um, I say he kind of stepped up, but I don't know. He's not a good example to use, but he did step up as far as, um, in his mind, he picked up a woman that physically looks better than his ex-wife, I guess, and then he did say that Marjorie's expectations was higher than other women. She didn't even give him none right away. He had to earn it. You know what I'm saying? So she gave him a hard time. She didn't make it easy for him. But most of the time, that's usually what I see. Men, whenever marriages don't work, very rarely men going to go back to the same exact woman they had. And women ain't either. Just women, you have a lot of females, they find out being with rappers, being with athletes, they don't want to deal with it. It's too much. It doesn't mean she downgraded. She had that and she realized it ain't all that. The next thing is, so that's the point I wanted to make really. She can pick a basic bride because she's still gonna live good regardless. So it makes it less stressful because now she don't have to have that pressure of, I got to get another high value man. No, she doesn't, because she's already living off the income of the high value man. So she doesn't have to marry another one. Also, the basic bride of Pet Pookie is easy to get along with. The below average boo, his expectations is not that high. It's not that extravagant. He's not looking for a whole lot. I'm sure with Khalees is much different now than it's ever been. Her below average bride, she doesn't have to deal with that pressure of, I got to look the part every time we hit the red carpet. I have to dress a certain way. I have to act a certain way. I have to, be this hip hop wife, have to put up this hip hop wife persona. I can be me. And truth be told, she looks happier because that pressure is off of her. Now she can put on her weight. She can eat her cheesecake. She can go back to her basic looking self. She ain't got to do all of that. When you with men of high value in that type of industry, it's a lot of pressure. Your body got to be right all the time. Your hair can't be out of place. People notice every little thing. She's with her basic brad. She ain't got to go through that. A lot of people was making fun of her going from Nas, this rapper, to being with basic Brad, that loves to live the farm life. Who's to say Khalees probably was like that all the time? But when you're with a rapper or athlete, that lifestyle is totally different. Because to me, she looks content. I don't look at it as she's miserable or she downgraded. She loves farming. She even said that she's been always wanting to farm since she's been a little girl. Now, this doesn't mean that her new husband is better than Nas. Maybe Nas, that just wasn't where he was. Like he said in his rap song, his lyrics. We got the new Bentley. We got the new truck. Let's go travel. Let's go, live it up. Let's go pop some bottles, whatever. This guy, he ain't into that. And maybe that's what made Khalees fall for the below the average guy, because he's simple like her. Just because a woman is with a rapper or with a producer, that don't mean she's fits his lifestyle. Sometimes you got to play that part because that's what's expected of you. And you can just tell Khalees now, she looks way more at ease. She wasn't fit for Nas. Nas wasn't fit for her. Doesn't mean one is better than the other. Now Nas may find him a woman who may love that, who may love the new trucks, the Bentleys, the Porsches. It's a lot of women out there who love it. But You have some women who love it, but once you experience it, you see it ain't all of what you think it is. Yeah, he has a Porsche, he has a Bentley, but underneath that shit, I can't even enjoy it because he's calling me every 2 minutes, asking me when I'm gonna be to the house. Or before I leave, I got to ask his permission. Can I use the Porsche? Could I use the Bentley? Or as soon as I come back, because the seat back a little bit, he swear I had another man in the car. He want to argue. He want to fight. Where you been at? Why you didn't pick up the phone? He got a tracker on a brand new Bentley. As for the basic Brad, long as you doing the basics and making sure he happy, you cooking and cleaning, he don't care what you do. I know some women more at peace driving a 2018 Honda than women who are at peace driving a 2021 Lexus Coupe. It's a lot of restrictions and limitations that come with that. Below average guy, he's most of the time, but don't get me wrong, you got some of them, they just as extra as this high value men, but most of the time, they more chilled and laid back. They pretty simple because they have the simple life. So their expectations are not as high. Next is high value men have high expectations, and I've already mentioned this before. They're very strict, they're very stern. You got to look a certain way, you got to dress a certain way. The high value man, he wants you to play the part. Pet Pookie, bottom shelf Brad, they don't place all these expectations. The next one is realization that securing the bag is not all of what it's cracked up to be. Again, you have a lot of women who have been with successful men and millionaires. Why do you think the divorce rate in Hollywood is so high? I know couples who have been together longer in a mobile home than couples who have lasted in a mansion. Something about money. Money makes people very egotistical. Money makes people very selfish, very greedy. Money just changes a lot of people's character. And a lot of women, and these women who running behind men to secure the bag, it's backfiring on a lot of them. They think it's cool going after men for money, but then when you got the men for money and you realize how strict they are, they're not just going to let you swipe the card whenever you want to swipe it. They're not just going to let you do what you want to do. Then you find out the hard way. As I stated, being with the high value man is not all of what it's cracked up to be. Look at Lala Anthony and Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony just couldn't keep his penis in his pants. Already knocked up one female, then on top of that, got caught in Switzerland or wherever the hell he was on the yacht with a whole nother woman. Then on top of that, he gets another female pregnant with twins. Some of these high value men are hell. And they're whorish. They got Erica Mena and Safari Samuels, which they ain't had no business together in the first place, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, it's a lot being with them. And which brings me to my last point. There's a myth that a woman is happy with a high value man. Where do you men get off saying that a woman has downgraded because she's with a man that makes less money? In the words of Biggie Smalls, more money, more problems. And a lot of you men, y'all shouldn't be praising men who think like this, because you don't want men to be going around preaching this high value narrative and that's all women look for. And then here it is, you're not that high value man and she's rejecting you or considering you less than a man because you're supporting men who preach this narrative and who represent this narrative. That's making y'all average guys look bad. And I mean average as far as men who work hard for their money, but you may not be on that high earned income status. So you shouldn't even be supporting men who preach this, because that makes it hard for you. Because if you have women going around here looking for, well, you ain't no real man because you ain't no high value man, that's going to make it more challenging for you. When the truth is, high value man should be based on how a man values his character, values his morals, not how he values his bank account. And that's the biggest misconception. And this is the reason why you have a lot of high value men. They cannot keep a woman. They cannot keep successful marriages, because at the end of the day, it's all about them and their money. and it's all about what is in the best interest of them. You know what I mean? So we need to get this myth. I don't know where these guys are coming in at every time a woman decides to get a man that makes less income, because she goes from an athlete to a man that's a bus driver, or a man that is a manager at the dollar store. It's not so much, yeah, she's not looking at the value of his bank account. She's looking at the value of who he is as a person, how he treats her, how he makes her feel important, how he makes her feel special. I told y'all this in my content when I went live the other day. I met men, I've been on dates with men who don't have a lot of money, but who didn't have a lot of money before I got married, but I enjoyed their company. I enjoyed kicking it with them, having a good time with them. And there was men who had money, who had nice cars. They were boring. There was no chemistry. A lot of them were so full of themselves, they didn't get the chance to know me. Didn't get a chance to, get to find out who I was, because they were so busy telling me who they were. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys, be careful promoting this high value narrative, because once women start thinking these are the only type of dudes you should be interested in, that's going to count a lot of y'all average earned income men now. That's going to put y'all right off the map. So don't support people who push this narrative that only a real man is a high value, a high earned income. Women need to know that it's not what a man has that makes him valuable, but who he is. Okay. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. I want to know what y'all think about these high value men, men who like to keep dragging other women who have downgraded, or who have decided to date men that are not so rich and so successful, but have good hearts, have good intentions, who really have her best interest. What do y'all think about this? Do y'all think every time a woman leaves a high value man, it's automatically her fault? Or do you think that some of these high value men are full of themselves, that they don't think they got to work on themselves? Because I'm high value. I can continue to be an ass. I can continue to be a jerk. I'm high value. So whatever woman I deal with, she gonna have to deal with who I am and what I am. And if she can't deal with it, there's something wrong with her. Anyway, leave y'all comment below. Please make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all exit. And this is my part 2. I may do a part 3 if I feel like there was something that needed to be addressed that I didn't address. But make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all leave. Y'all comment below. Again, it's your Diva and Knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always make you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Ladies, don't forget to subscribe to my Mocha's Ladies Lounge, my channel for women and women only. Y'all take care.